Did you know that the Leafs might make the playoffs? Did you know that they also might not? And that it's a terrible tragedy? And that it is all someone's fault? And that someone's name is a defender by the name of Morgan Rielly? Well, that's what a lot of people seem to be saying. So allow me to go to bat, or if we put it in hockey terms, block a shot for Morgan Rielly. Being a starting goalie for the Toronto Maple Leafs has to suck. On nights where you're great, they chant your name at the ACC. On nights where you're not, they immediately forget the nights where they were chanting your name. Right under that, though, it has to suck to be the Leafs' #1 defenseman. And by the dollars and cents, and that's what makes the most sense in this cap world, that is what Morgan Rielly is. Signed a new 6-year deal that he is in the first year of, paying him $5 million per. Boo-hoo! And it has been an up and down season, and some people have been on him, and as the season has worn on, especially lately, people are really getting on him. God, where was he on that goal? That's not your guy, that's your guy! You're screening him, you're screening him, you screened him! And my new favorite awful dumb diddly dum dum stat is, did you see that Morgan Rielly is -22? And that he wears 44 and 22 is half of 44, which explains why he's half of the defender we expected him to be, Illuminati confirmed? It has not been all sunshine and rainbows for Morgan. But allow me to say for him something that has been said of the Leafs all season. He's a young and developing player. In this rebuild or Shanna plan, it's easy to forget anything that happened before the Leafs won the lottery that gave them Austin Matthews, but Morgan Rielly was born March 9th, 1994. He turned just 23 years old less than a week ago. And while many of the rookies and so many of the players on this young Leafs team are getting the benefit of the doubt and they're gonna make young mistakes, Morgan Rielly has been getting none of that because he's been here a while. Morgan Rielly's not just gonna top 300 games played by the end of the season, he's gonna top it by the end of the week, barring injury. Like many of his current teammates, Rielly started with the Leafs early, in his teens. His NHL debut was in the 2013-14 season, which, if you debuted with the Toronto Maple Leafs, means you have not always had a good time. You've seen a variety of management, a variety of coaches, and the majority of your teammates disappear by the age of 23. Now tell me, what do you think that does for a player's development? Well, I tell you what, for a team that struggled so mightily last season, the Leafs finished last after all, Morgan Rielly had 9 goals and 36 points as a defender on a team who didn't have a single player reach 50 points. This season, 4 goals and 20 assists for 24 points, still nice, but not as nice. But for a player whose bread and butter is his speed, why don't we seem to remember that he sustained a lower body injury and was out for a while? And when he came back, Rielly resumed his position on this team as a shutdown, star-playing defenseman. I don't mean he's playing as a star, I mean Rielly and Zaitsev are taxed with shutting down the other team's stars, night in and night out. Rielly leads the Leafs in even strength time on ice per game at 18 minutes and 47 seconds per game. Rielly also plays 2 minutes and 26 seconds of penalty kill time per game, and that number seems to be climbing. And not rewarded with a ton of power play time to boot. He's second in total time on ice per game, he's first in shifts per game. The Leafs need and depend on Morgan Rielly. So for all of those reasons, it bothers me when I see things like people saying, Rielly isn't a top pairing defenseman. Now, isn't refers to the present, so okay, fine. What bugs me way more is when people say Rielly won't be a top pairing defenseman. He won't be a #1 defenseman. Well, first of all, I've already heard dumb things like, there are only 15 #1 defensemen in the league. What? There are 30 teams in the NHL. Do you even math? And second, Morgan Rielly will never be this. He'll never be that. Okay, fine. But a lot of the same people saying this have no problem being like, wow, the Leafs were really smart to not give up on Nazem Kadri because look at him, he's having a career season. To go with the non-Leafs example, a lot of these same people come Hockey Hall of Fame nomination time are going to be like, wow, isn't it great that a late bloomer like Martin St. Louis beat the odds and overcame everything to become a Hockey Hall of Famer? To go with a less extreme example, how many of these people saying Morgan Rielly will never achieve this or never achieve that are the same people who in the past week have waxed poetically about Chris DiDomenico and what an amazing story he is. He was drafted 10 years ago and he overcame the odds. He broke his femur and he came back, played in Europe, and now here he is in the NHL with the Ottawa Senators. But Morgan Rielly will never do it. Oh, I see. Look, a lot of things have gone so right in Leafs Nation this season. There's been a lot to hope for, a lot to cheer about, a lot to be optimistic about. And people say a lot of positive things about a lot of players. And I think when things go south, people don't want to badmouth the same players that they complimented, so they need a punching bag. And a lot of people, not everybody, seem to have selected Morgan Rielly. Do I think he could play better? Yes. Do I think he will play better? Yes. Do I think he will improve as the years go on? Yes. Do I think he's probably still feeling the effects of that injury he sustained against the Sabres? Yes. Do I think that a day will come where people will feel silly for ever doubting Morgan Rielly? Yes. Don't let him become the next Larry Murphy, Brian McCabe, Thomas Kaepernick, Dion Phaneuf, the next leading Leafs defender to get run out of town. Babcock said pain is coming. And he's putting Morgan Rielly through the ringer. And you never know, he might just come out of it a beast. What do you think of the Leafs' young veteran blue liner? That's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. And don't give up so easy.